guys, what's going on? My name's Noah, another video from Paramount Performance, and I am here with...
Oh, you're saying
Yes.
Dan Signorelli.
Alright, bud. The reason why we're doing this interview is because I want to shed a little bit of light on Transformation Tuesday, more or less. And it's more of a real life. It's the stories that you don't get to see. You know, it's very typical to see that Photoshop, six-pack abs, you know, you see the end result, but very rarely do you get to see someone who's still on their journey. So, how much weight have you lost so far?
161 pounds.
161 pounds.
September of 2014.
Alright, so you've been working at it for a few years now. Wow. That's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
That is definitely a lot of weight. So, tell us your story. Like, how did you get to being that heavy?
Just being really lazy, eating. I mean, that is the long and short of it. Being really inactive, eating poorly for years. Just a sedentary lifestyle.
Alright.
Well, that was it.
Alright, so like
Wasn't hard
when
either.
you said like you ate poorly, what type of foods were you eating?
Mostly fast food.
Yeah.
Pretty much every day, a few times a day.
So like your breakfast, lunch, and dinner would be fast food.
Yeah, and I was driving, so I was in a job. I was driving a lot during that time as my job. So I was in a job where I'm sitting down the whole time, not doing anything physical and eating really bad.
Wow. Alright, so like your thing was fast food. It wasn't really like when you ate, were you binge eating? Like were you eating candy, or was it just like you?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say I was binge eating, but I just ate whenever I was. I mean, not even necessarily when I was hungry. A lot when I was just bored. There was a lot of that was a lot of it. But when I did eat, it was really never a healthy choice.
It's alright, and then
that's how it was. I mean, it's as simple as that. It was really bad food all the time.
Yeah, and I mean that's exactly why we're doing this, because I'm sure many people can definitely relate to something like that.
Sure.
Making poor choices. So when you were that big, what was your heaviest weight?
425 when I started. I believe at one point I was 436 if I remember correctly, like before I started training. But when I hit the gym, I was 425.
425. So when you were that big and your diet was that way and being very, sedentary lifestyle, how did you feel?
I felt horrible. Physically, I felt horrible. It was hard to move. Like I had to bounce my ass off my bed to be able to get up from it in the morning. I felt horrible about myself. Very low self-esteem. Just not happy with anything. But at that point, I was set to live like that. I had no plan. I was just like, this is how I'm gonna die. Really overweight, and because of it.
So how do you feel now?
I feel a million times better.
Yeah.
Like I really can't describe how I feel. Like physically and mentally, just an entirely different person.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I think a lot of people tend to underestimate about lifting, is that it's not just a physical change, it's a mental change. And I'm sure for you, the change is emotional as well, like your confidence level, how you feel about yourself, your body image, and
Absolutely.
it's a tremendous amount of work that you should be really proud about, how much weight you've lost.
No, I am.
So, alright, what changed? What changed in your life that made you start the process?
I'll give you the quick rundown of it. Like the middle of 2014, I got sick. I don't know. I felt really crappy, and I usually don't get sick. I went to urgent care, and I weighed in there. Like they had me, get on the scale, and I weighed myself like for the first time in several years, and I saw how much I weighed. So they prescribed me something. A week later, I'm still sick, and I go back, and I lost 8 pounds in that week, but not through like working out or eating well, just from being sick and probably not eating at all. But it kind of hit me like, this is really something I need to do. And then Joe Cristiano, around Decoy Fitness, sent me a text. And he said, listen, you signed up here last year. You showed up for a month and you never came back. He was like, why don't you just, come back to the gym. And and we'll figure it out, you know, we'll figure it out later, but you should probably come back. And I was like, all right, let me go see a doctor for the first time in 20 years and get a physical. And literally, the first time in 20 years, get a physical and make sure I'm okay to do this.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, for being as big as I was and eating as poorly as I had for, 10, 15 years, I didn't really have any health problems as far as like high blood sugar, high blood pressure, cholesterol, nothing like that. I was just extremely overweight, and the bad stuff was coming soon though. So, I signed up like a few days later after I saw my doctor, and I haven't looked back.
So, had Joe not reached out to you, do you think you still you'd be where you are right now?
Honestly, no, I don't think so. I think that was definitely the catalyst. Hearing from him, you know what I mean? That like planted the seed. I mean, I went to the doctor when I lost that 8 pounds. It's something that popped in my head, but it's popped in my head hundreds of times over the course of all those years, and I never did anything about it. I made a few attempts and always failed.
All right. So, like, how did you go about doing it? Like, what, like, did you like just completely dive into it, or was it like kind of baby steps each day, a little bit of progress? Or like
for the first week, it was really slow. I started off with 20 minutes on the treadmill the first day, did that the second day, and I remember feeling like, I feel like someone that's gonna die. This doesn't feel, invigorating. This feels awful. I remember going, man, just thinking I was gonna feel like brand new in 2 days. And I was like, I'm not gonna be able to do this. It's the first thing that popped in my head. I was like, I'm not gonna be able to do this. And by the end of the first week, I was like, all right, maybe I got this in me,
Yeah.
So I was mainly, I was just, I started off with, a little cardio and some light weights.
Yeah. And you still hate cardio.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Who doesn't?
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, and here's the thing that changed for me. Like I went through that the first month, and I had a decent amount of weight loss in the first month, maybe 10 pounds. And one time, like Joe Cristiano again, like he'll just mutter stuff as he's walking by. And I'm sitting down, and he's like, listen, he's like, because Joe and I started training together. We worked out together years ago when he was just a kid, and I was like 20. He's like, do what you used to do. He goes, don't waste an hour doing cardio. He goes, do some cardio, but go and lift heavy. He goes, that's what you got to do. And it popped in my head. I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do, because I really wasn't enjoying my workouts. Coming in and doing a little bit of weights, a little bit of cardio.
Yeah.
I just felt like I was mailing it in. And as soon as that happened, as soon as I started concentrating more on lifting heavy, is when weight really started pouring out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good for you.
It's great.
Good for you. So, what's your diet like now?
My diet right now it's the same as I've been doing from the beginning. I've been winging it. Like I had Joe write me up a diet that I never followed. I followed the basics of it. High protein, moderate fats, keep carbs low, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm actually doing really well. I had a few months after I hit like the 150-pound mark where I was still eating all my clean meals, but I was eating one bad meal a day.
Yeah, get a little cheat meal.
Yeah. But I was doing it every day, and I was unable to lose any weight in that time.
So when you say you were winging it, was it more towards like macro-based dieting, or like you tried to stay under like a certain limit?
I just like I didn't count any calories. I just made sure I ate lean protein, good fats, and trying not to eat a lot of carbs.
Okay, all right. So because it's 2017 in what, 2 days?
Yeah.
So for the people that are about to start where you started years ago at 400, I mean, the person doesn't necessarily have to be 400 pounds. Let's say there's someone that is in a place in their life where they're not happy and they want to make change. What is your best piece of advice to that person?
I don't know if it's advice, just encouragement. This is the best thing you can do for yourself, and it's the easiest thing you'll do for yourself. People say how hard this is. It is hard work, but it is so easy when you see results and you see changes. It's like, it makes it, no big deal to come to the gym and put in that hour and a half of hard work. It's enjoyable. You really can't live without it. And there's a lot of people, like, this isn't magic. This isn't something that works for some people and doesn't work for others. If you come in and do the work, you will see results. Because I thought I was the biggest lost cause in the world. There was nobody worse off than me as far as a guy that was out of shape was going to get into shape. It was never going to happen. That's how I felt forever, you know. So anyone can do this if they put their head to it. And just, you know, it's like owning a brand new car or a brand new house. It's like a new gift every day, and all you got to do is put in 2 hours of work every day to keep it. That's how I felt about it, you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you've lost a tremendous amount of weight, and it's something you should be really proud of. And I've actually wanted to do this video with you for a while now, and I'm really happy that we did it.
Yeah, me too. Thanks for taking time to do this.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Guys, thanks for sticking around. If you have any questions, please leave comments below. And as always, thank you. Remember to like, favorite, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.